Hello and welcome to another edition of the Hill and Ponton VA video blog. Today we want to talk to you about migraine headaches. These are headaches that are actually more than headaches. They can be all-encompassing. The thing we see with migraines a lot is an underrating. A lot of times we'll see the VA actually service connected and then connected at zero. And the way I look at migraines, it's akin to mental health illnesses, and that the VA has a difficult time properly rating something they can't see. If a veteran's missing a limb, it's pretty obvious how that should be rated. But when it comes to a disability that is not something that can be touched or readily observed, meaning you walk into a doctor's office and there it is, it's something they typically get wrong.
And just for a lot of migraines are suffered by women. And men have migraines as well, but because fewer men have migraines, then a lot of these people who are evaluating these cases have no idea what a migraine is. What's a headache? That's what I've heard them say. It's just a headache. A migraine is more than a headache. A migraine is a devastating attack on your body. You can't think. Your head feels like it's going to explode. You may have to go to a dark, quiet room. It may last a day, it may last hours, or it may last 2 or 3 days. And if you have frequent migraines, it's very hard to do much of anything else.
And she hit on what's important, because when you go to a CMP exam for a migraine, the way they're evaluating you is how many migraines do you have that cause prostrating episodes.
To go to your bed, to go
Exactly.
to a dark room.
Causing you to lay down. And they never ask you how many times you have to lay down. They just ask you, what do you do? And it's very important. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a vet be rated at 0% when they have to lay down almost once a week, if not a couple times a month, which should at least be a 30% rating.
Right. Veterans are asked, how often do you have a migraine? And the problem is they'll say, I have 2 a month. Well, they fail to say that my migraines each last 3 days and I have to go to bed for those 3 days. That's prostrating. That's devastating. So they need to make sure that they tell them all that and the symptoms. I'm nauseous. My head hurts so bad I can't think. I can't really function mentally. That's what a migraine is. And you need to, instead of just saying I have headaches, you need to be very descriptive of what you have.
And I think even worse for veterans is that the max rating you can have for migraines is 50%. So if you're having the type of migraines that Carol's talking about, it makes working difficult, if not impossible.
Impossible.
What kind of employer is going to let you just leave and lay down 3 times to 7 times a month? So it's important to realize that even if you have just a 50% rating and the migraines keep you from working, then you should apply for unemployability. The trick is, since your rating is below 70% or 60%, the VA at the regional office cannot grant you the unemployability. So what you have to do is keep pressing for that. You need to get letters from your doctors, from friends or family that observe you, and keep on pressing for that and saying that you want your case to go to the VA central office to be evaluated, because they're the only ones who can grant unemployability in a case that is not at that
Doesn't
criteria
reach the rating of 60 or 70%.
70%.
Now, if you have other ratings that get the overall rating up to 70%, then you definitely should be considered at the local office for total disability. It's only when, say, your only disability is migraines that you have to make sure that you get letters from your doctor showing that these migraines are disabling, you cannot work, and then ask that your case be reviewed by the central office. Another thing that with migraines is depression. You should also make sure, inevitably, people that cannot function, they never know when the migraine's going to hit, they become depressed. They can't, you're not reliable. You can't tell when you can go see your friends, you can't tell if you can go to work, and a lot of them become depressed. That's a secondary service connection they should file for, and maybe the two together will get them the 100% they deserve.
Yeah, it causes isolation, both occupationally and socially. And that is a way to get over that threshold.
Right.
And we're talking about cases where the veteran just can't work, can't be out, but it's just important for you to be as descriptive as possible when it comes to migraines, especially when it comes to recovering, how often you have to have a recovery that involves you laying down. The VA does not do a good job of explaining what prostrating is to veterans, because a lot of times the veterans I speak to have a 0% rating, end up having to lay down, once or twice a week, which should give them the max evaluation of 50%. So this is just something we see, and we wanted to share with you all on migraines and how they affect you. And it's important to fully describe what's happening, not only how often they make you lay down, but as Carol said, what the recovery time is on the back end and how long it takes you to get back up and functioning as you normally would.
Right.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time on the video blog.